I grew up second generation Adventist. Very early on, I became a youth leader, became an elder of the church. But I recall between youth leader and eldership, I had brought someone to church. I had brought someone to church before, but this particular person I met during my graduate school. Met him in class, seems like a nice guy. We just started chatting and talking. But then I realized something was a little different about him. And as we got to know each other better, he found me trustworthy. So he then told me that he actually suffers from schizophrenia. He hears and have conversation with different characters and different voices. Just in our interaction, I started talking about Jesus, about the Bible, and about the evil spirit that Jesus cast out. And so I asked him, I said, well, if you like, why don't you come to church with me? That's where I am every Saturday. And so he liked to hang out with me so much that he said, okay, yeah, I'll go hang out with you on Saturday. He started coming to church regularly. What I didn't know was his entire family were Buddhists. When he came to a point where he felt ready to be baptized, he went home and told his mom that he wants to get baptized and become a Christian. And that's when his mom put her foot down and said, there's no way. I'm not going to allow you to become a Christian. But he was so unhappy at home. Mom made one phone call to the guru and asked what she should do about the situation of her son wanting to become a Christian. The family is wealthy, so mom makes huge donations to this one guru in India. This Indian guru, without knowing much detail, told the mother that this son of yours would be better off as a Christian. And so with that, mom gave permission for him to be baptized. After he was baptized, especially on his baptism day, he told me that the voices were gone. And progressively, his schizophrenia got better. However, as he was getting more involved with church, mom regretted. She ignored the fact that her son's conditions were getting better. She actually forbade him to leave the house. Needless to say, he was in a very bad place. I'm sure he was depressed. He wanted to get out. I'm sure schizophrenia came back and hit him harder. He eventually ran away from home. First time we were able to find him, he had unfortunately pumped himself full of medication, attempting to take his own life. Second time he ran away from home, unfortunately, then he was found dead in a motel. When I received a phone call from my friend's brother letting me know that they had found him in a motel, he had ended his own life, that was very difficult for me to accept. I was in denial at first. It's like, wait, this can't be true. What do you mean? He was fine. I was devastated. I've always been a very happy, sunny, smiley person my entire life. So in my mid-20s to have to go through that experience, it was new to me. It was very, very difficult for me. It bothered me so much about him taking his own life and what I've been taught in church about, suicide is murder. I know that he wanted to be with God, and that's the whole reason why he wanted to be baptized. He wanted to go to church. And so for him to eventually succumb to his mental illness and unfortunately ending his own life, and how that equates to him not being in heaven, I just couldn't deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. I know it's okay to ask God questions, but I was so sure that was non-negotiable. The fact that you had taken your own life, I couldn't quite resolve it within myself. And finally, I made a phone call to my youth pastor, and he asked me. He said, "Miles, do you know God?" I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Well, Miles, do you really know your God?" And reflecting and thinking back of the God that I knew, God is one of love. And I just need to trust that because he is love. He's loving. He loves us so much that he will look at every situation differently and judge accordingly. And with that in mind, that brought peace back into my heart. And I was able to settle and resolve that hurt and pain and uncertain feeling for my friend's salvation. I can't say I would not have doubts ever before I pass in this world, because that's just the frailty of us humans. I have faith that it will only get better, because having gone through these things and experiences myself, now I have this track record. Now I see that you still provided evidence and proof and track record that you are not failing us. I've been to a lot of funerals in my short life. One great difference that I see is that I know there's nothing to fear, there's nothing to worry about. God will continue to be faithful to us, and that we need to reciprocate in that same faith in him.